Just think, has it ever happened that you woke up in the morning and despite everything, felt a strange emptiness, as if an essential piece of the puzzle of life is missing? If so, believe me, you are not alone. In today's fast paced world, this feeling troubles millions of people. We are surrounded by material comfort, a splendid career, lots of friends on social media, everything that is called success. Yet somewhere inside there is a restlessness, a deep dissatisfaction, and a sense of lack of a greater purpose in life. Why is that? Are we really made just for the rat race? These questions are not just of today, but thousands of years old. And the interesting thing is that the answers to these questions are hidden in our ancient Vedantic philosophy. These are not just theoretical concepts, but eternal principles to deeply understand life and live it fully. Today, we will reveal those Vedantic mysteries that can help you recognize your true purpose and attain an inner satisfaction you may have never even imagined. So, are you ready to join me on this amazing journey? As I said before, this feeling of emptiness is not just yours or mine, but it is a universal truth. For centuries, our sages and monks, especially the great thinkers of Vedanta, have dedicated their lives to finding the answer to this profound question. They presented principles that not only reveal the deep mysteries of our existence, but also show us a path through which we can give our lives a new, meaningful direction. This video will not only provide you with information, but is also a journey where we will understand these profound Vedantic principles so simply that you can easily apply them in your daily life. We will not get entangled in complex words, but will try to ensure that every principle reaches your heart and mind directly so that you not only listen but also live it. My promise is that by the end of this discussion, you will have a new perspective on your life. And most importantly, a clear blueprint for living a meaningful life. So, without any delay, let's dive into this river of knowledge. Beyond daily struggles, the importance of purpose in today's era. Today's era, which we often call the modern age, is full of contradictions. On one hand, we have unlimited information and technological power that was unimaginable a few decades ago. We can connect with the world at the click of a button, but are we truly connected with ourselves? On the other hand, we live in a world where uncertainty stands at every turn, whether it is global issues, economic fluctuations, or rapidly changing technology. Social media has almost started a whole new game where we constantly compare ourselves to others. Everyone is showing their perfect life, and unknowingly, we begin to find flaws in our own lives. What is the result of all this? A deep dissatisfaction, an inner emptiness, which often tells us that something is not right. Just think, have you ever felt such dissatisfaction in your job where you are working, but you feel that you are not using your time properly? Or that emptiness in relationships where people are together, but there is a lack of depth and understanding? And the strangest thing is that many times we achieve everything that society calls success: a big house, an expensive car, a high position, but still feel something incomplete inside. This incompleteness tells us that external achievements, no matter how great, do not guarantee inner fulfillment. We need something more, something that gives a deeper meaning to our existence. This is the moment when we feel the need to look within ourselves, when we ask, what is the true purpose of my life? And this is where the importance of our ancient knowledge comes forth. There is a very beautiful and powerful mantra from the Kathopanishad, Uttishthit Jagrat Prapya Varannibodhat, meaning arise, awake, and learn from the best teachers. This is not just a mantra but a call, an invocation for us to awaken from our slumber and understand the deeper truths of life. It inspires us to look towards ancient solutions for modern problems, because some truths are eternal and remain relevant in every era. So now that we have identified the problem, let us see what solution Vedanta offers us. The fundamental principle of Vedanta, the revelation of one's true nature. Vedanta, as its name clearly indicates, the end of the Vedas, or the essence of the Vedas, is not just a religious doctrine. It is a profound philosophical path that helps us understand our true nature. It teaches us that we are not merely this body or mind, but much more than that. The two most important pillars of Vedanta are Atman, the soul, and Brahman, the ultimate reality. The soul is your eternal, unchanging essence. It is that which is beyond the cycle of birth and death. It is the consciousness that always resides within you. It is your true identity which never changes. Just like the waves of the ocean come and go, but the fundamental nature of the ocean remains the same. Our soul is just like that. The body and mind keep changing, but the soul is immortal. And then comes Brahman. Brahman is often understood as the omnipresent consciousness, or the ultimate truth. It is the foundation on which the entire universe rests. Everything, whether it is a tiny particle or a vast galaxy, is a part of Brahman. Brahman is everything, and everything is contained within Brahman. It is a power that is present everywhere, gives life to everything, and is the fundamental source of all things. Now combine these two, and you get the most powerful mantra of Vedanta, Tat Tvam Asi, that thou art. This is a profound message from the Chandogya Upanishad, which tells us that your soul and Brahman are one and the same. They are not separate, but two sides of the same coin. This means that within you already exists that infinite power, knowledge, and peace that you are seeking outside. This is not something external to be obtained, but an inner truth to be recognized. Have you ever felt that you are searching within yourself for something infinite and unchanging? Tat Tvam Asi tells us that this search ends within you. Many times people develop some misconceptions about Vedanta. Some think that Vedanta means escaping from life, but that is absolutely not true. Vedanta teaches us to live life with full understanding and awareness. Renunciation does not mean giving up, but rather having the right perspective and properly performing one's duties. The fundamental principle of the Isha Upanishad is Ishavashyamidam sarvam yatkincha jagatyam jagat, which means that everything in this world is pervaded by God. Therefore, we should consider every action of ours as a service to God. It teaches us how to live our lives so that every moment becomes a spiritual experience. So, after understanding these fundamental concepts, let us now take a deeper look at some more important principles of Vedanta, which will help us embody the truth of I am Brahman and that thou art in our lives. Vedantic principles. Principle 1. I am Brahman and you are that. Recognize your true nature and see unity in all. We have just understood the concepts of Atma and Brahman and how the Mahavakya Tat Tvam Asi unites the two. Now let us consider another powerful Mahavakya, Aham Brahmasmi, which means I am Brahman. These two Mahavakyas are two sides of the same coin. They lead us towards self-realization. This principle tells us that our true identity is not limited to this body, mind, or intellect. These are all just temporary instruments. Our true nature is eternal consciousness, which never changes. Often, we become too attached to our ego or self-identity. But Vedanta says that this ego is only a temporary state. When we deeply understand this, we begin to recognize our real, infinite nature. To understand this, take the example of an earthen pot. When a pot breaks, it returns to the soil. Does the existence of the soil ever change? No. Only its name and form change. In the same way, our body and mind are like the pot. They come and then perish. But our eternal consciousness, our soul, always remains. This reminds us that our true nature is immortal. Similarly, Tat Tvam Asi teaches us that the same divine consciousness, the same Brahman, is present not only within us, but in every living being. When we understand this unity, we stop seeing ourselves as separate from others. We see the same divine soul in every creature. This fills us with a deep sense of love, compassion, and respect. Do you remember the story of Shvetaketu, where his father explains to him how a huge banyan tree is hidden inside a tiny seed? Just like that, an invisible essence pervades everything, and that essence is you too. When we realize this unity, feelings of discrimination and separation begin to diminish from our minds, and we truly start living the feeling of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. The world is one family. Principle 2, Karma Yoga, the path of detached action. Now, let's talk about a principle that can help us a lot in our daily lives: Karma Yoga. This is the most important message of the Bhagavad Gita. Often we work, but our minds are always worried about the results. These worries bind us and take away the joy of our work. The principle of Karma Yoga teaches us that we should perform our duties and give our best, but without worrying about the results. This does not mean that we become careless. It means that we focus all our attention on the action, put all our energy into it, but leave the outcome to God or nature. When we perform selfless actions, that is, without any personal gain or attachment to the results, we attain a deep inner peace and contentment. Because then our happiness does not depend on external outcomes, but on our own efforts and sense of duty. Let's understand with the example of a student. A student who studies only under the stress of getting good marks will not enjoy studying. On the other hand, another student who focuses on the process of learning and studies with the joy of acquiring knowledge will not only learn better, but will also enjoy studying. This student is a true example of Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga teaches us that our actions are our worship. When we perform every task with full dedication and honesty, without worrying about the results, we are, in a way, in a state of meditation. This helps us live in the present and frees us from unnecessary stress. The four pillars of a meaningful life, Purusharthas. Now that we have understood some fundamental principles of Vedanta, let us look at an ancient framework that shows us the path to living a complete and meaningful life, the Purushartha Chatushtaya. These are the four pillars: Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. They tell us how we can balance and give purpose to every aspect of our life. Dharma, your unique duty and righteous action. The very first column is Dharma. Dharma does not just mean performing worship rituals. In Vedanta, Dharma means your unique duty, your moral responsibility. It is about recognizing your inner nature, your own Dharma. Every person has their own Dharma. A teacher's Dharma is to share knowledge. A business person's Dharma is to conduct business honestly. In the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, "It is better to die in the performance of one's own duty. Performing the duty of another is fraught with fear." Meaning, it is noble to die while following one's own Dharma, but following someone else's Dharma is dreadful. When we follow our own Dharma, we feel a deep stability and satisfaction in life. Artha, the pursuit of moral prosperity and resources. The second column is Artha. Artha does not just mean earning money, it is about achieving moral prosperity, gathering those resources that help us follow our Dharma and live a good life. Vedanta teaches us that wealth is not bad in itself. Rather, it is a tool. The important thing is how we earn it and how we use it. The Taittiriya Upanishad says, "Anam Brahma," food is also Brahman. This means that all the resources necessary for living life, if obtained in the right way and used for the right purpose, also hold spiritual significance. When we connect wealth with Dharma, our prosperity is not only material, but also spiritual. Kama, conscious fulfillment of desires, not suppression. The third pillar is Kama. Kama does not only mean physical desires, it represents all our desires, aspirations, hunger for love, beauty, and art. Vedanta teaches us that suppressing desires is not the solution. Rather, they should be consciously fulfilled. Our desires allow us to experience life and motivate us to move forward. But the important thing is that we fulfill our desires within the scope of Dharma and meaning. For example, love is a desire, but when it is connected with Dharma, it becomes meaningful. When we align our desires with higher goals, they do not lead us astray, but make us more complete. Moksha, supreme liberation, and self realization. And finally comes the most important pillar, moksha. Moksha means ultimate liberation and self realization. It is the ultimate goal of life when we understand that we are beyond the body and mind and we unite with our true nature, Brahman. This concept of Jivan Mukti teaches us that we can attain moksha while living in this very life, in this very body. The famous phrase from the Mundaka Upanishad is Satyameva Jayate Nanritam. Only truth triumphs, not falsehood. Liberation, moksha, is the knowledge of that supreme truth and merging into it. When we live dharma, righteousness, artha, wealth, and kama, desires, in the right way, they lead us towards liberation. These four pillars are interconnected and essential for a balanced life. They teach us how to harmonize our material and spiritual lives together and live a life that is meaningful in every sense. Integration of Vedanta, practical steps for daily life. So, now the question is, how do we incorporate these great and profound Vedantic truths into our daily hectic lives? It is important to live them. Don't worry. You don't need to go to the Himalayas for this. Here are some simple yet very powerful practical steps that you can start adopting from today. Awareness and attention. Awaken your witness consciousness. Self reflection on who am I. Take just 5 to 10 minutes every day, sit in a quiet place, and close your eyes. Simply observe your thoughts and feelings without trying to change them. Ask yourself, who am I? I am not this body. I am not these thoughts, nor am I these emotions. I am the one who is witnessing all this. I am the witness. This is the technique of the witness feeling. When you do this, you begin to experience your eternal consciousness, your I am Brahman nature. The Katha Upanishad also guides us in the same way. When the five senses stand still along with the mind. Consciousness with breath. Pay attention to your breath. Simple practices of pranayama can bring you into the present moment. When you focus on your breath, your mind begins to calm and you connect with the peace within yourself. Practice of Tat Tvam Asi. See divinity in everyone. Seeing God in others. This is perhaps the most challenging, yet the most rewarding practice. When you talk to someone, pause for a moment and think, that is you. The same divine consciousness that is within me is also within them. Even in difficult relationships, when someone angers you, try to see the soul hidden behind that person, not just their ego. This will fill you with compassion and understanding. Leave Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. The power of Advaita Vedanta gives us the feeling of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, that the entire world is one family. See the same consciousness everywhere, in your surroundings, in nature, in animals. This will free you from the feeling of separation. This is the practical application of the Ishavasya Upanishad, to see God in all. Application of Kama Yoga. Turn every action into service. The principle of selfless action. Perform every task, no matter how small, without attachment to the results. The Bhagavad Gita reminds us, you have the right to perform your prescribed duties, but you are not entitled to the fruits of your actions. Turning household chores into worship. Do your household work, office work, or any responsibility with a spirit of service. When you cook, do it with love. When you go to work, see it as your service to society. When you perform your work with a spirit of service, It does not feel like a burden, but gives you joy and keeps your mind peaceful. These small but powerful steps can bring a big change in your life. They will help you not only to know the principles of Vedanta but also to live by them. So, today we have touched upon many deep stages in this wonderful journey within ourselves. We discussed in detail the three main principles of Vedanta: Aham, Brahmasmi. This helps us recognize our true reality. Tat Tvam Asi. This teaches us that the same divine consciousness pervades all. Karma Yoga. This shows us the path of performing our duties without concern for the results. And we also learned about the Purusharthas: Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha, which provide us with a complete framework for living a balanced and purposeful life. It is very important to understand that the purpose of your life is not to discover something new, but to realize what you have always been. You are already complete. You are already infinite. The Mundaka Upanishad reminds us Satyam, Jananam, Anantam Brahma. Truth, knowledge, and infinity are Brahman, and this Brahman resides within you. You already have the key to a meaningful life. Now it is time to unlock it. This journey is not a one-day affair. It requires continuous practice and self-reflection. So let's take some immediate practical steps. Daily reflection. Question. Every evening, before going to sleep, ask yourself a question. How did I practice my Dharma today? Weekly self-review. Every week, reflect on the four pillars of Purushartha Chatushtaya. Is there a balance of these four in your life? Monthly goal setting. Every month, set some concrete objectives for your spiritual development. If you want to understand this knowledge more deeply, I would recommend some resources. Regular study of the Upanishads. These are oceans of knowledge. Daily contemplation of the verses of the Bhagavad Gita. The Gita provides practical guidance on every aspect of life. Connecting with a spiritual community. Join people who are walking the same path. Remember, this is your own journey, and every step matters. I hope this discussion has given you a new perspective and inspiration. I want to know from you, throughout this entire video, which principle or point touched your heart the most. Please be sure to share in the comments what the greatest purpose of your life is, and which pillar of Purushartha Chatushtaya you find the most challenging. Your opinion means a lot to us. If you like this video, don't forget to like it. Share it with your friends and family, because this knowledge should reach everyone. And yes, subscribe to our channel so that we can move forward together on this spiritual journey. Your support inspires us to create more such content. Thank you.